Hi there, this is Lisa, and I am so happy you took some time out of your day to join me for today's video. I am creating with a couple of the stamps from the August Kit of the Month from Unity called Phases to create a spooky, kind of hazy night sky for Mr. Owl here. So let's get started by inking up our background. I took that big moon and stamped it on some Hammermill cardstock using Slate Gina K ink. And then I'm just going to ink blend over the top and create kind of a glowing moon by using Lemon Drop. Again, all my inks are from Gina K, but I will mention the colors as I go along. And I'm just doing a light blending over the moon. I want to keep some lightness and white in there. And then I'll slightly extend the yellow outside the moon to create a glowing effect. Next, let's add in some purple. This is Plum Punch, and I'm just going to, again, circle blend. I like to rub off some of that ink off to the side of my mixed media mat. And then that way I don't have these big splotches when I put down my ink blending brush on my paper. I'm doing this in quite a few layers, that way I don't have big splotches and it'll kind of build up that color over and over again. Next up is Tranquil Teal, and again I'm kind of tapping off that ink off to the side and then doing a circular motion and bringing that onto my background here. Building up those layers over and over again. I don't mind if there's a big kind of contrast or splotchiness. We will cover this up a little bit with some vellum later on, and that'll kind of hide some of the imperfections, but also those dark spots add to that night sky kind of look as well. So I'm not mad at it if it has some darker areas and it's not perfectly blended. And I'm going to do one more layer of all the colors to really kind of deepen and richen the tones of those purples and blues, so we get a nice dark night sky background. And I want those colors to really pop through that vellum too, so I like them to be really nice and vibrant. So I'll just keep doing each layer over and over again until I'm happy with the overall look. Next, I'm coming in with some darker tones because I really want this to be a nice dark night sky. This is Blue Denim, and I'm going to do that just around the edges of the blue, kind of create a nice dark vignette, and then really make that pop with a bit of the black onyx. I really like how this deepens everything up and kind of gives it a cloudy-like look. Next, we're going to add on some water splatters. I just spritzed some water into my hand and then clapped it over the top and let those soak into the paper, and you'll see that water react with the background, so we have some really cool water splatters. I'm just going to glue this directly onto an A2 card front. Really love how this background turned out, and it could be used on its own for something totally different, so I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind to try out in the future. But I really had this idea of using vellum with the owl. So I've stamped him on some vellum with some Gina K amalgam ink. I did let that dry really well, or you could hit it real quickly with a heat tool. You just want to make sure you don't see any shiny ink, or else you might smear it because the vellum is a really slick surface. Then I grabbed a fun die. This one's from Pink Fresh Studio, and just lining everything up so my owl will sit perfectly right in front of that glowing moon. And once I was happy with the placement, I'm just going to tape this down and then run it through my die cut machine. So let's finish layering everything up. I tacked down that vellum with some tape adhesive. Not worried about seeing it because I am going to cover it with some washi tape. So once I was happy with my placement, I just grabbed some pretty washi tape from my stash, ripped off a piece and laid it down. Wasn't really thrilled with the length of my original piece, so I picked that up. Thank goodness washi tape is forgiving. Just tore off a little bit on the end and then put that right back down. Now I know that vellum's not going to move because I used my tape adhesive, so picking up and moving that washi tape doesn't bother me that much. Now I have a glittery silver piece of washi tape I'm just going to layer over the top and then add a few crisscross staples with my tiny attacher. I stamped out the sentiment, "The moon made me do it," and then grabbed the scalloped and stitched sentiment dies to trim that down. I just love this sentiment. I think it's really great in case you do something out of the ordinary, or you get somebody something that you maybe shouldn't have, or you said something or did something you shouldn't have. So it could be a fun way to send an apology or to just do something crazy for somebody else. Finally, I'm just going to add a few sequins just so there's some more movement and shine to the front of the card. And I may have snuck in a little bit more shine with a clear glitter pen to really make him glow in that moonlight. And here is the finished card. Don't you just love that owl with the glowing moon behind it? I will have the supplies linked in the description of this video and also on my Dollhouse Designs YouTube channel and blog. Thank you so much for creating with me. Be sure to like and subscribe to catch all my video tutorials, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.